Hello and welcome to a Raycast tutorial, finally, right? This is probably like the only like up-to-date Raycast tutorial because a lot of them are kind of outdated, right? So here's how I'm gonna go about this, right? And if, by the way, if you don't know, a Raycast is like, it's a thing where like it points from like one part to like another, or it points from like your screen, like where like your camera, the middle of your camera, to where you, like you click, right? So a Raycast is like, for this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to like raycast to where you click, right? Now I do have a local script in starter player scripts ready, and this like I wrote down some stuff in here just for me to understand like how to teach you better or whatever. But if you have like your own project, just open up a new script, right? Put it inside starter player scripts, a local script. It doesn't have to be a local script, by the way, but like when you're doing like a raycast from the mouse, or I mean like from the camera to the mouse, it's just way more efficient to do it on a local script, right? Because like, yeah, I guess you could fire like a remote event to the server, you could give them all the mouse information, but it's just better to do it here. Okay, so local script, name it something like, I don't know, raycast script, something like that, right? So okay, what is our goal, right? Our goal is that we want so that whenever the player clicks, right? So we detect whenever the player clicks their like mouse or taps the like the screen on their mobile device. We're gonna fire a raycast, and a raycast is like an invisible line, right? So there are kind of two types of raycasts. I mean, it's the same raycast, but raycast can either be fired from one part to another. So like like it just fires an invisible line from here to here, and then the purpose of the raycast is like to check whether it hits something along the way, right? So like if you wanted a way to detect like whether there was something in between these two parts, then you could fire a raycast from this part to this part, and then you could say, okay, if the raycast hits like like a part that it like isn't this part, then we have something in between, right? So that kind of is the premise. Or the second type of raycast is, like I said, it fires from the player's camera to their mouse, right? Simple stuff, right? So yeah, raycast script. That's our goal, right? So let me check real quick. So first we need our variables, right? So we need the camera, we need the user input service to detect when the player actually clicks, and just a variable for our local player, right? You don't have to do this like thing. It looks nice, it's nice for organizing. So I'll say local. What was it again? Yeah, local camera is equal to workspace.current camera. So this is the camera of our local player, right? This doesn't work on server script. So current camera is only something you can access on a local script, right? Then local user input service, local UIS equals to game get service user input service, very nice. And then local player. Did I really okay local twice, whatever. Game dot players local player. I guess I called them local player. There we go. Okay, just gotta stay consistent with the namings. I don't want anything to break, right? So we have our variables. Then we're going to make a function which will return the raycast, right? So it's going to create a raycast and it's going to return the raycast. So I'm going to make a local function mouse raycast, like so. So we're going to hit enter and let's see. Okay, so first we need to get the mouse position, right? So we need to actually understand where the mouse currently is. So we'll say user input service get mouse location. It was get mouse location. Yeah, actually wait, no, we need to make that a variable. So local mouse pause is equal to mouse position is equal to UIS get mouse location. So now we have the position of our mouse, right? Then we need the mouse ray. So from what I understand, and this could be completely wrong, but what this like viewport point to ray does is it like it kind of creates like a line similar to a raycast. It like creates a line from like the center of our camera to whatever position we want, which in this case is going to be our mouse position. So it's going to be the X of the mouse position and the Y of the mouse position, right? So that's kind of how I understand this, right? So again, I'm not too sure what this does. Maybe someone in the comments can correct me, but I'm pretty sure this creates an invisible line, which we will then use as like a base for our raycast. If nothing I said makes sense, don't worry about it. Okay, it just Roblox doesn't make sense a lot of the times. Like I'm not even too sure what this does. So it's mouse ray is equal to camera, right? So from the camera, we do viewport point to ray, and then we get the mouse position dot x, and then the mouse position dot y, like so. Beautiful. Then we need parameters, right? And a parameter is basically like, consider it like to be like the configurations of the raycast, like the settings of the raycast. Like we can customize it, right? So I'll say local parameters, or like params, is equal to raycast params dot new. And the way we change params is we say params, and then we do a dot, and then like parameters have like, you know, their own like properties, right? So in this case, what we're doing, so I'll say params dot filter descendant instances. Yes, okay. And it's going to be equal to local player dot character. So I'll explain what this does in a bit, and put this in a table as well. Local player dot character. It just has to be a table because like, you know, like it like accepts multiple like things, and because it's able to accept multiple things, you just kind of have to put stuff in a table. So this is going to be the physical character of our player. What this does, filter descendant instances, is it basically like it's going to be the descendants of this character. So every item that or like every part, you could say that's inside of the character, is going to be counted in the parameters. Okay, we have the descendants of the character, but like what are we actually going to do with them, right? Well, then we say params.filterType is equal to enum, which is like enum is what you do when you need to get a value, right? So I'll say params. Apologies if this is confusing. I understand. Filter type enum. This kind of all makes sense once you actually finish it. Like, because once you have the full picture, you're like, oh, that makes sense. It's like a weird thing, right? I think it's exclude. Yeah. So what these two lines do is we basically say, okay, so we need to filter through the descendants of whatever instances are inside of this table, which is the player character. So we're gonna filter through all of the descendants, and descendants are like what's inside of like whatever instance we have here, right? So for example, if we had like, you know, assume this is the my character, right? We have a humanoid, we have a part, whatever, right? Let's just assume this is a character. What this is gonna do is it's gonna filter through everything that's inside of this like instance, right? So if we give the player character, it's gonna filter everything that's inside of the character, and then we say, okay, everything that we just filtered, we need you to exclude. What this means is that the raycast isn't gonna stop when it hits like our player. It's gonna keep going. So this allows our raycast to just go straight through our player. And this is very helpful if, let's say, your player is in like first person, right? And so their camera is going to be inside of their character, right? So let's say you have like maybe like a gun, right? And like the player's like it's a first person shooter, right? And then let's say you want it so that when the player clicks, you fire a raycast, you know, from their camera to wherever they click to actually know where the gun is supposed to fire. But the issue is if you don't have these two lines, then what's going to happen is that the raycast is going to fire and it's going to stop on like the player's head, right? But then by doing this, we're saying, okay, ignore the player, right? Ignore the player's character. You can go straight through. So that's what this does. And then we actually create our result. So local result is equal to workspace raycast. And so it needs the origin. So it needs to actually know where to originate. So mouse ray. Right, because mouse ray is going to be like our invisible line. So it's going to be the origin of the mouse ray. Then it needs the direction. So then it's going to be the mouse ray dot direction. And then we can actually times it by something. So whatever you multiply this as is like how long the raycast is actually going to be, right? So let me show you what I mean. If let's say you have like a melee system, right, where you want to fire raycasts, but you don't want like an infinite line, right? You only want the line to check whether it's touching. So you only want the line to be like, let's say like 10 studs. And a stud is this. So one of these blocks is a stud. So let's say you only want your raycast to be 10 studs long, right? You don't want it to be like really long, just 10 studs long. What you do is then you just times this by 10. Like so, right? So you take the direction and you say, okay, times it by 10. So this is going to determine the length of the raycast, right? Now, if you want your raycast to be like almost infinite, you can just do like, I don't know, like 100,000, 10,000. Just you could make it like a big number, right? Okay. And then it needs the parameters, I believe. So then we just give it the parameters at the end. There we go. And then as a final, we will return the result. So now whenever we call this function, it's going to be equal to whatever this result is, right? So now what we need to do is we need to detect when the input begins, right? We're using user input service. So let's say user input service dot input began. We'll connect that to a function, which gives us the actual input that, the player presses, and game processed event, which is equal to a Boolean or like true or false, right? And what proc is basically means like if process is true, it means that the player was like doing an input, but they were doing an input because they were like pressing a button, right? Or they were doing an input because they were like chatting, right? Like in the Roblox chat. Like you probably don't want the player to fire their gun if they press a button, right? So you can just say if proc, then return end. So basically, if the player is like pressing a button or they're chatting, then we're not going to do anything, right? But if processed is false, if processed isn't true, then we can actually start to do our stuff. So we need to detect if the input is actually a mouse press, right? And maybe for you it's not a mouse, maybe for you it's a Q or whatever, right? So we need to if let's see, input dot user input type is equal to enum. Again, enum is like whenever you want to get like a value of something, right? User input type dot mouse button 1. So you could do this. Or another thing you could do, let's say you want a key on a keyboard. Instead of user input type, you do imp dot keycode, and then you do enum dot keycode dot, like you could do Q, you could do left shift if you want, you could do like rights, alts. I don't know. You could do a lot of things. You could do right curly. You could do this if you really want, right? But again, for me, I just want to focus on mouse, so I'll just do user input type equals to enum user input type dot mouse button 1. Then, so if the input is equal to mouse button 1, then what we're gonna do is I'll say, okay, local raycast is equal to mouse raycast, like so. So the moment I call this function, it's going to fire a raycast from my camera to wherever my mouse is pointing, raycast, like so. So let's just play the game right now. Actually, no, you know what? Quick thing, I forgot something. I should probably disable this second script, which actually we actually don't need it now. I just realized, so I'll just delete it. There we go. So we only have one script now. That's nice. So yeah, let's see. If I click right now, any errors? No errors. Okay, so nothing's happening because, yeah, like it fires a raycast, but raycasts are invisible, right? So nothing's going to happen. But no errors. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. If I were to print the result, okay? Oh, wait, no. Print raycast. Yeah, there we go. If I were to print the raycast whenever we actually click, right? Let's actually see what happens. So it gives me what I actually clicked on. So it says the base plate. Does all this, gives me the material. I'm not sure what normal means, I'll be honest. But yeah, base plate, spawn location. And you may notice that if I actually click on myself, it doesn't activate, right? So it doesn't say like, oh yeah, head, or like torso or humanoid root part. It keeps saying spawn location because the raycast, we told it, okay, go through my character. So that's very nice. So the next thing that you probably should know about these raycasts is that a raycast has properties, right? So raycast.instance. So the raycast.instance will tell you what, like, the part that the raycast actually hit. Now, if the raycast didn't hit anything, like if you clicked on like the sky, for example, like obviously the raycast isn't going to hit anything if you aim it to the sky, then this is going to be equal to nothing or nil, right? But if it does hit something, then that something is going to be equal to raycast.instance. So I can print raycast.instance. The next thing is raycast, I think material. Yeah. So it just tells you the material of the instance, right? And let me check again. Yeah, position. So this is actually this is I think one of the most important ones because it tells you the position of the intersection between the ray and the part. So when the ray hits something, the moment it hits that thing, right, it stops and it gives you like its position of where it stopped, right? So you could do that. And then let's see what else. Raycast. I'm not even too sure what most of these are like. What's normal? The normal vector of the intersected. Okay, whatever. And then I think distance. Yeah, so the distance between the origin and the intersection point. So this tells you just how long it is, right? So if I were to play again, it's going to print out the instance, position, and distance. There we go. So it prints out the instance, prints out the position, and the distance. And as you may notice, as I'm getting my mouse closer and closer to my character, the distance is decreasing. That's pretty nice. Like so. There we go. And again, the raycast isn't firing from my player, it's firing from my camera. So if my camera is really far away, then obviously the distance is gonna be far. But then when I start zooming in my camera, the distance is pretty close. That's pretty nice, yeah. That's, I guess, kind of all you should know. For fun, what we could do is we could just say, okay, local explosion is equal to instance.new explosion. And we could just say explosion.parent is workspace. And then we'll just say explosion.position is going to be equal to raycast.position. So now, whenever we click somewhere, that's going to give us an explosion. There we go. So yeah, that's, pretty simple raycast power. Kabloom. Boom. Beautiful. Amazing. Pretty fun, right? Pretty fun. Yeah, that's effectively Raycast. So again, just to go over, I'll just delete the explosion because we don't really need that. We get the variables here, so we get our player's camera, we get user input service, and we get, our actual player. We create a function which gets the mouse's position. Then it creates like a line from the camera to our mouse, right? Then we create the parameters where we say, okay, ignore the player's character, and then we actually create the raycast, which gets the initial position, it gets the direction of which to go in, and it takes the parameters, right? And then the function returns that raycast, and here we fired the function and we get the raycast. Now you maybe also be wondering, like, okay, but isn't this the same thing? Like, it's making a line, but isn't a raycast also a line? Yes, but the thing is, Raycast just has more stuff, right? So a Raycast, it's more powerful in the sense that it can tell us a lot more. So for example, this camera viewport point array, it can't tell us the instance, right? It can't tell us the material, but a Raycast can. So a Raycast is more, I would say it's worse for performance. Now here's the thing, a Raycast is very cheap performance-wise. I'm pretty sure I saw a thing where your game is going to be fine even if you fire, I think it was 6,000 raycasts every frame. So if your game every single frame is firing 6,000 raycasts, it's still going to be fine, right? Again, I can't really confirm or deny this, but that's what I've heard. So raycasts are actually very efficient, right? So that's kind of the idea, right? If you need a quick line from the camera to the mouse for whatever reason, you could use this, which is more cheaper than a raycast, but raycasts are very cheap anyway, so it's just good to use them as well. So yeah, that's basically it. Share the video to a friend because I want views, I'll be honest. Check out my newsletter for epic gaming advice. And we are back to basics. Thank you for watching.